a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. Oh, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. And we'll roll the old. We'll roll the old. We'll roll the old. And we'll all hang on behind.
You know what I mean? Like, how long has it been?
Do we sound good?
Time we did this?
Yeah.
Oh, no way, you do this every week? Nah, this is...
Yeah, everybody sounds good.
All right, what do you want to talk about this episode?
Dude, let's talk about life. Let's talk about how cheaters win and how the world is run by cheating motherfuckers.
The world is run by 3 different corporations.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right, talk to me about this.
Go to the
So,
messages, please. Let's start her off.
I don't even know how.
I listened to the podcast, that first group message.
I don't even know
Right
who
there,
sent it. Who sent it?
I did.
You sent
Scroll
it?
up or
This
No,
is what you've been
that
looking
article right
into?
there.
It came through the Barstool thing, right?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah,
hold
that's
on,
right.
hold on.
There's Barstool.
Before we get going, so this is episode 9. That other fucker's out diddling himself in Houston, so we have the lady pirate.
Hey,
So we got our
shout
lady
out to
pirate.
Jen coming
So
through
shout out to
Thank
Jen.
you.
with the essentials.
He's diddling himself out there and God knows where. But so this ran across from me and I listened to this podcast. It's kind of got some conspiracy. Okay, first of all, did you read it?
Not the whole thing. Give it to me.
Jen, don't read it. Do you know how do you know why
Don't read
Friday the 13th is unlucky? Has something to do with this.
Okay.
Do you know why? Well, apparently because the Knights Templar were fucking around, so the church ordered them to get killed on Friday the 13th. That's why it's an unlucky day or some shit like the Knights Templar died
Yeah.
on Friday the 13th, and that's why it's a bad. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th, actually. So,
Fun fact.
Who are
So
they?
apparently-
Hold on. This one's crazy. Because in actual pirate lore, it's complete opposite. The number 13 actually protects them on the sea.
did you know there's a pirate? There's like there's a whole series on Netflix about pirates.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, we need to check that mug out.
we can get in that later. But right now,
Oh, yes.
but right now, so apparently.
I saw the trailer.
So apparently, if I'm not mistaken, the Roman Empire kind of broke off. Like London, Washington D.C., and where's the other one? Where's the third one at?
All the places with the
Rome.
obelisks.
And Rome are the 3 major cities that run the world. Every money, every bank, every important
is.
person, all runs through these 3 places.
The London obelisk.
And like London, like, so if you look at go read the article, but if you look at the laws of like London, London has its own laws within the UK. They don't even abide by like the king, even in the early times. Rome, the Vatican has its own laws that don't do their own thing with like
it's
Vatican.
like its own nation, right?
The Vatican is its own nation. London's basically its own nation too. People don't know that. It's like its own city and its own rules.
So they don't
government.
have to follow the same banking laws.
And DC kind of has its own constitution too.
Mhm.
So they all 3 follow their own.
Are you trying to get assassinated? Is that why we're talking
No,
about
I mean
this?
this shit's right here.
I know, but it does say you were right about this.
No, I'm not.
Would that be a good thing?
No, because I'm about to tell you why. Because the Knights Templar were kind of these guys who I never read the Da Vinci Code or any of that, but apparently they were kind of created to protect Jesus' lineage because he was a
Right.
man and
It
he had
says
kids.
right here,
They were
the Knights Templar were founded to protect people of Europe on their pilgrimages to
Well-
Jerusalem. Did I say that right?
Yeah, but
And the Ark of the Covenant, too,
Well,
right?
also, no, that was way before Jesus, the Ark of the Covenant.
Okay.
So, like, apparently, like, they were created to do this, but in the Da Vinci Code, he explores the idea that they were created to protect Jesus' line, because isn't that the blood of Christ is his children, right? Like, that's his thing. Because he was a man. I mean, a man had,
So you're saying they were protecting a family?
well, his bloodline.
Uh-huh.
But they also created systems whenever they were when people would travel from Europe to the Holy Land, they created a banking system.
Yeah,
Right.
World
that's
Bank.
what I just said right here.
Yeah, and it's all fucking.
Yeah.
But I'm only saying
Something
this
that
'cause I
had
would be a
been
Freemason.
forbidden by the Catholic
You'll be a
Church.
Freemason?
but
If
the
you
Knights
guys are
Templar
listening, and I'm sure you guys
were
are,
allowed.
I'd like to be a Freemason. And I was also going to ask you guys this, because this is about like secret societies and shit. I don't even want to go too deep into it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Joe Rogan's indoctrinated into something? He's too powerful. He's way too
powerful.
He's way too powerful.
Like he's a comic book character.
He's
It
got a
seems
lot
like-
of influence, bro. He's got more views than everybody.
If you look into Joe's story, it almost seems just like the perfect storm of some guy who's at the right place at the right time.
And if you listen to Andrew Schultz talking about it, he's like, they're not going to let this happen ever again. Because, like the internet is this wild west that they had no idea was going to happen. And he's the product
Dude,
of
so
it.
many people have turned on Joe Rogan. I don't understand it. Or maybe it was people who were never pro Joe. Pro Joe? You like that?
Pro Joe.
I don't know. I could go everywhere with this.
People talk a lot of shit, though. Like, they talk a lot of shit on Rogan. That's
What
what I've
does he
been
have?
hearing.
What did they have against him? What's so bad about him?
Well,
I heard it.
recently it's the Spotify thing.
Right. Well, dude, what's crazy about Joe Rogan is they've put him in this whole new box for it's called like enlightened conservatives or conservative enlightened, something like that. Something crazy like that. And I'm like, what?
They're trying
Conservatives
to
aren't pro weed like he is.
Yeah, they're trying to label him.
He's not
They're
labelable.
trying to label him and
He's not
can't.
labelable or whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Because he believes in.
At the end of the day, who Joe Rogan is and what he did in terms of like having a voice for the people, for the talking about illegal things, talking about plant medicines, talking about
I mean, he's smoking weed in
science.
Austin, like on the podcast. That's
Yeah.
still illegal.
How many people has
That's a
Joe
pretty good
Rogan?
episode.
How many people has Joe Rogan put you onto? Whether it's a
Everybody.
comedian
Everybody.
or a scientist or anybody.
He put me on a Joey Diaz, and that opened the floodgates for
That
everybody.
one video is crazy. That old lady from the 1800s, I think.
Yeah,
her-
the way she was like speaking, it was just so
Yes,
cool.
It was intense.
Put it on.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to hear it. Turn it up. Oh, I got the remote. Oh yeah, we are.
I'm trying to get on my feet again. Feel pretty good. Thankful it's as well as it is.
1835.
All right, I'm pleased to see you. I don't know where you come from, but I give you all the welcome I've got to offer you. And I want to tell you that I'm living on the same ground that I've lived on for 75 long years.
That sounds to me in our time. That sounds miserable.
The fact that she lived to be 75 in that time is.
No, I think she's older.
Dude, for real.
Or maybe she just lived there for 75
Oh, yeah.
years.
She's 94.
Wow.
I saw
Right there.
people around there and have been with the presidents. And I learned a great many things up there that I didn't know before.
But yeah, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine because you're like she's saying your whole life's confined to one like area. Imagine
Yeah.
seeing a camera for the first time. You don't have or electricity. My grandma actually tells me she remembers when they put electricity in the house
Wow.
in post.
That's crazy.
My great-grandmother.
What did they use beforehand?
There was no
Candles,
Like
lamps,
candles, lamps?
kerosene
the
lamps.
sun. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kerosene lamps.
That's not like an old thing too, though. Like for like rural areas in like the South,
Yeah.
electricity's kind of. You'd be surprised how new it is
Dude.
for some people. You
Right.
know. So I'm just saying, you're born in 1835.
God damn.
You saw the fucking Civil War,
It's almost 300 years ago.
and then you
That's
see a
what this-
fucking
That's
video.
what this top comment says. She lived through the Civil War and World War I, and this interview was done right at the start of the Great Depression. And still, she seems in good spirits.
Dang. Lex Friedman, bro. He's
Yeah.
next level,
I
bro.
love Lex Friedman.
Yeah,
So
Lex
good.
Friedman is the man. Another person
been listening
who
to
put you on to Lex Friedman.
You know who?
Joe Rogan.
You know who?
The-
He literally put me
He's
on
pro
everybody.
Who put you on to David Goggins? Who put you on to Jocko Willink? Who put you on to
Cameron Haynes,
Cameron Haynes? Yeah.
Joey Diaz, Tom Segura, Burt Kreischer, Ari Shafir, Shane Gillis. I didn't know who Shane Gillis was until he went on Rogan.
Exactly.
Even some Lex Friedman. Some
So
of those.
shout out to fucking Joe Rogan.
Just scroll through his
Shout out to
Instagram.
Joe
Let's look through
Rogan.
it.
I wonder how many podcasters are shouting out Joe Rogan.
Hell, I didn't even
Not
like.
enough.
I won't even front with you. I didn't even like Elon because I had a teacher who completely badmouthed him for a long time.
Really?
I didn't like Elon, and then I heard him on Rogan. I was like, Elon's cool.
Yep. And he hit some weed on. Dude,
What
Elon
I-
hit weed on JRE.
Oliveira. I didn't know about Oliveira, the guy who just fought.
Uh-huh.
Until Rogan. Who's that other guy? Eddie Bravo?
Eddie Bravo.
Eddie Bravo. Dan Soder. I listen, that was a good one. Your friend that did his art for him, I didn't know about her. She's a good artist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Elvis photo. I love that.
Dang. But anyways.
If I ever go on Rogan, I'm gonna be the 13th beer man.
What?
He drank 12. I'm gonna do 13.
Oh, yeah. You could do 13 easy. You do 13 on Pirate Radio every time.
Well, let me also say, since
You're
we're on
training,
the,
though, right?
you were talking, yeah, I am. You were talking about the Spotify thing.
Uh-huh.
I would be a fool if I didn't like. Say, I'm not gonna be honest. Like if Spotify offered me, if I was that marketable and Spotify offered me a deal, I'm taking it. I'm going
Yeah, no
Spotify.
doubt, you got to.
Yeah, bro.
Like, you gotta be stupid not to do that. All these people talking about him doing it.
Yeah, screw them. But
I get it.
Joey wasn't on there for the longest time, and then he finally was.
I don't think Tom
I
Segura's
didn't
on
listen to the whole thing.
Oh, the Spotify's.
Mhm.
I liked it.
There's a lot of guests that didn't come on.
I've actually been listening to him more. He's talking about going back on in June.
Joey has.
He's going to come to Austin in June.
Joey's changed a lot though, huh? It's not the church radio days.
I will say though, I've been listening to him. He's getting it back. He's
What
getting
was it called? The church? What's happening? Yeah, the church.
The church. What's happening now?
Oh, so he's getting back into his old ways?
Well, because he's getting back into comedy.
Oh, okay.
So he's getting back. He's getting his mojo back.
I got you.
He's getting funny and
Yeah, he's so great at
I'm-
telling stories. Tell us a story. What's the most interesting thing that happened this week?
for me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tell us a Joey Diaz style story.
Well, I had all this built up, and I've trained myself to build up all my angst and anxiety and anger and all the bullshit to Wednesday when we do kickboxing.
Okay.
And it was canceled, so I was very pissed off. And I told Jen I'm gonna go run. So we get home, and I fucking forced myself to go run in this heat. It's 6 o'clock in Texas. It's hot,
How hot was it?
and
In the 90s had to be.
it's sun out 90s, and I run, and I don't think nothing of it because I'm listening to a podcast. I'm grooving, and I get home, and Jen's like, "Did you really fucking go?" Jen lays it on me that I went and ran without her, and she came in hot, man. She came in mad at me, being mean.
I was like,
She's
we're
here,
gonna
so I
run
can say
another
this.
fucking mile right now.
She zooms this way,
Yes.
zooms back, and she's like, "Come on, let's go. We're going. I'm like, "What?" You're like, "We're going running." And I was like, I was so mad because I was tired and I didn't want, and I was already frustrated at.
Because I have offered to run with him.
She was like, "You're not about it.
With him.
You're not
Yeah.
about it." And I'm
he's-
like, "I
he's
never
always
told you I was
like,
gonna run with you." First of all, I was like, "All right."
No,
I'll go."
you have. You're always like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I was like, well, be about it. Come on. And so when he ran
Called
without
you out,
me,
boy.
So I mean,
when
I did
he
it
ran
though,
without
Putting you on
me,
the
I
spot.
was like, oh hell no.
and I went and
Let's do
ran.
another mile. And he did.
And to be fair, that's the most I've ever ran. What's the word?
Some-
In one time, like 2.5 miles. Like that's what I clocked in
proud of you,
yesterday.
son.
So he was
So there's
mad,
mine.
but I was like, but hey, it's done.
Did you feel better after that?
I felt better after the first mile. I was just like, she was just being mean. I was like, what the fuck?
What do you wear when you're running sheep? What
This, but with good shoes.
kind of, okay, what kind of shoes?
My stepdad gave me his Brooks, which are
Those
really good, really good running shoes.
Running shoes. Oh man.
I think they're the top of the line running shoes.
Chris wants you to be swagged out. He's like, you need to jog in some
It's
Yeezys,
function
dog.
over fat. When you're running on that pavement, you need good shoes. But I've heard those are like,
Chris
I wasn't
Vargas.
running these. No, don't get me wrong, but there's better technology, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Chris Vargas, I need you to put me on to what I can watch on Netflix.
Right now.
Yes. Have y'all seen Godless?
no, what's that
No.
about?
It was.
seen
I think it
Russians?
came out in 2017. It's kind of a western. It's like the Four Corners area of the United States back in the 1800s, mid
Were they trying to tame
1800s,
that area?
like when this lady was alive, the one that we just watched.
Dude, that's crazy.
Oh shit, she was.
And I think it was based on a true story too. So this guy was going around to mining towns and robbing the mining towns for their silver and stuff. It's pretty good.
I saw a tweet. It was like, "How did you get caught in the 1800s?" The person who tweeted was like, "I would have been doing record numbers of murders back in the day."
Dude.
Like, you could. How do you get caught?
They were,
Right.
yeah, they were murdering whole little
Dude.
towns.
People do
Hey,
that.
Spot, you
People do
tell
that
us a
for
story.
very
You put me on the spot. You tell us a story of your
Savage.
week.
About my week, what's today? Thursday?
Today's Thursday.
Tomorrow's-
Thursday.
Tomorrow's
Throwback
Friday.
Thursday.
Go back Thursday to the Wildcat.
Okay, yeah. So yesterday, we go to the pet store after we drop my daughter off at dance class because my other daughter's hermit crab needs sand because we want to build them a better little habitat, right? This hermit crab escaped 6 months ago and was just lost in the house, right?
Oh shit!
Presumed dead for 6
Right.
months, because they need water, they need moisture and stuff. And so we were like, he's gone, whatever. Too bad for him because it's happened before.
How did he escape? Did they like let him?
Basically my daughter was playing with it and then she walked away and then couldn't find it and he was somewhere. But 6 months later, homeboy shows back up.
What?
Yes, he was still alive.
He survived cats, dogs.
He survived
He
everything.
survived the winter.
He survived no water, no food. I don't know how he survived.
Well, there needs to be a
But he's the
movie
most gangster hermit
about this
crab
thing.
of
That's
all
pretty
time.
badass.
So we got him again, right?
Mhm.
Anyway, we're trying to get him some sand for his habitat. I walk into the pet store. and I go back to the back towards where like the fish and the reptiles are, and the first thing that I see is this chameleon.
Where you at, Walters?
It's this new pet store, man. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. Honestly, it's not a popular place. Is
it that big ass one on 82nd
Is it? Yeah.
in Frankfurt? It's like a big building now.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
like got like neon green, like
You know what
on
I'm
the
talking about.
sign.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's on 82nd Frankfurt.
82nd in Frankfurt. I don't know what it's called, but this fucking. You ever see something and just know like that's mine? You ever walk in? I know Chris has.
Oh yes.
What is it called? Impulse buy.
Yeah.
Impulse buy. Where you're just like that was made for me. Now I'm taking
getting
it. That's how I felt when I saw this little chameleon. He was just like looking at me. The thing about it is they can move
Can you
their
look at
eyes. They
Chameleon.
can move their eyes independently.
Yeah.
So he's
So
looking
one's
this
looking
way
at
and
you,
that
one's looking
way.
at the other
It's
one.
fun just watching him.
What am I googling?
Just chameleon. I want to see a picture of him.
And so my wife
Please.
is not a fan of the chameleon. I got to convince her to let me get it.
They're
Does she
literally
think it
so
looks like a little
cute.
demon?
I can't wait till he looks
Well, no,
like that,
because it
dude.
costs
That's
like
gonna be cool.
$200.
That thing is $200 that you
No,
bought?
that thing is like
Those
70.
they're like giant.
and then you got to buy everything else to keep him alive.
So explain to me,
They
like,
won't ever try to escape.
I mean, they're really slow.
explain to me, like,
Those things are so.
I never understood reptiles because I never had one. Like, they need light, right? to
Yeah, they need a
survive.
heat source.
Can they bite you?
Nah. The
They got those long tongues.
The veiled chameleon isn't gonna bite you, but it's fun to watch him eat live bugs and stuff.
Does he got that long ass tongue?
See this one, the second one on the finger. That's what mine looks like. Yeah, that
Oh
one
my
right there.
god. I love it.
Yeah, he's legit. Y'all gotta come check
You
it
should
out.
shoot a pic, like a
How big is
A
it gonna
video,
get?
like a live action ring.
So they get up to 2 feet. Apparently,
Oh.
like you could probably find a picture of a pretty big one.
Like that
Johnny
long?
Depp.
So I
How long-
convinced her to let me get it because my kid sees it and she falls in love with it too.
Yeah, bro.
Which one?
So we
Which
brought
one
it
of your
home
kids?
last night. Kiana, Kaya was at dance, and then we picked Kaya up, and we're on the way to because we left it there and went to go pick Kaya up and came back to get it. And we were telling Kaya, "Hey, we got a pet, but you got to guess what it is."
Same.
Yeah, bro. Write some jokes for it. Throw it on the internet.
He's legit.
What's his lifespan?
I think 5 years.
So he's gonna get like that big, probably.
Yep, at least.
Dang, bro. That's so crazy.
Oh, hold on.
Dude, animals are creepy looking, bro.
What's the craziest pet you ever had?
5 to
Chris?
10. You got a good time.
What's the craziest pet you ever had? Did you ever have a pet?
Chris is not a
you
pet
ever
guy. He
I
don't.
used to have a sugar glider.
You need a
What?
pet, Chris.
A sugar glider?
You did?
What is a sugar glider?
Jen had a sugar glider.
It's like a squirrel, but
It's a
with
cute little
wings.
Oh,
How long did it live, Jen?
I didn't
Okay.
know that was a
So I
thing,
had
bro.
two. I had Juju and I had Gigi. They were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Juju and Gigi.
Yeah, Gigi was pregnant and then she died
Oh,
with
shit.
her
See,
babies.
here's like, I don't,
And they're like partner animals, so they
Uh-huh.
need to have a companion, you know, and they'll get depressed and get sick. And my brother is the one who gave Juju to me, and he had lots of sugar gliders, so I gave Juju back to him so he could be with like fellow.
they're social creatures.
Yeah, like they have to be like
That's so wild, bro.
They, you never seen that
Aliens.
video where like they jump and they like open up?
Yeah, they can fly.
they're
pretty
so
much.
cute.
Here's the problem with these animals, Chris, is they come from illegal trading of exotic pets.
Oh, yeah.
They're not domesticated animals. Somebody fucking took that thing from the wild and
Oh, I didn't know that.
started trading. I mean, they're everywhere now.
Yeah.
That thing was never meant to be a pet.
That's crazy, bro.
Well, Juju was the good guy while I had him. I had him for like 2 years.
Did he ever bite
no,
you?
no, not even that long. Maybe like a year. No.
What's the craziest pet you ever had? This one?
Craziest pet I ever had was
A rattlesnake?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
an 8
No,
foot
you're not.
python.
I don't mind them, but
And I was a kid. I had an 8 foot python, but I only had it for like a month because we lived on the east side of Lubbock, and my dad was a dog catcher, and it was like the one time in my life, probably for about a year and a half, where we all lived together in one spot as a family. And my dad, because he worked for the animal control, they called him about this big ass snake that was in somebody's yard, a yellow python, a Burmese
Somebody just let it
albino
loose?
python. So there was this lady that lived up the street who had a house full of snakes, dude. And I ended up being friends with one of the kids who lived there. And it was the nastiest, most disgusting fucking house
It's
I've
like a
ever
terrarium,
been
the whole
in.
house.
dude, I bet it stank.
No, the whole house was like
Just
Human.
Imagine if you never cleaned your house and you just had dirty clothes, food, plates,
Were they white?
everything. Yeah.
So they were bad.
Well, no, my friends,
White people live like that, bro.
my friends were half white, half
No
black.
disrespect.
My friends were half white, half black. Their mom was white.
We can be racist because we're not white.
right. So listen, at the time, it was a rough time for me, right? And going to their house though, and seeing how they were living, dude, it was hell in that place.
Dude,
It was so disgusting. It was the most disgusting thing. I grew up poor, so I've been in some gross places. But
I've been in some gross places too, and they are
imagine. Not only is this place disgusting in term, not only is it
So
disgusting in
funny you
terms
say
of like as soon as you walk in, you're stepping on filth. But there were snakes, there was reptiles loose in the house, dog.
Like
Yes.
pythons and shit.
Yes.
Like shit
It
that
was
could
evil. It was dark.
like legit like
this.
shit could eat you.
Get this. Back in the 90s, this lady was on the news because one of the pythons had eaten her baby. Yes, same lady. For real, dog. Anyway,
Dude.
one of these ladies' snakes gets loose in my neighborhood, and my dad's a dog catcher, animal control, so he gets the snake, right? My dad's a hustling motherfucker. He'll make $1, doing anything. So in his mind, he's like, I could sell this to the pet store, and I think eventually he did
Walters.
sell it to the pet store. I think they gave him like $200 for it, but
They probably sold it for a lot
in the
more,
meantime, it was at my house, and that was my pet for like a month.
If you feed them, they're
That
not
thing
bad,
could have
right?
killed me, dog.
Well, if you feed them, they're not gonna fuck around.
Yeah,
too. But it could kill you.
I had heard a story about like this people because in Florida they do that, and they learned they like because they have exotic vets.
Thank you.
And then she went to the vet. She was like, "Why the fuck is my snake stretching itself out on my bed next to me?" Well, that's what they do to size you up before they fucking eat you. Like they stretch themselves out to make
I've
sure they
heard
can
of
eat you.
that, or they'll like starve themselves.
Well, they only eat like once or twice. They only like once or twice a month. They don't need eat every day. But they'll stretch out to fucking see if they can get your ass. That's what they're. I mean, I don't know, because that thing will wrap an 8-foot python.
yeah.
That thing will kill all of us if it could. Like it'll wrap around all of
I
us.
probably weighed 60 pounds at the time. I would carry it around my neck like Mowgli, and I would go and fucking. I would turn on the fountain because I would give it a drink, and so I would go to the sink and I would turn on the water, and I would hold it up to the water, and it would go up to the stream and just like get a drink. But we never fed it. But those people, I was friends with
Can you look that up
a couple of those
on
kids.
Google?
they
Woman's baby eaten by snake on Lubbock or some shit.
They would feed.
That happened here?
Yeah, it was here.
That's why. Were you not listening?
No, well, because he didn't always used to live here.
But it was either in the late 80s or the early 90s. It was a while back.
Because you lived in other places.
No, I lived in Ialoo and Lubbock in
There you
between. I mean, it's
See?
7 miles away, dog. It's the same thing.
Not crazy.
I've been back and forth.
That was 3 days ago.
Jesus, bro.
Baby snake. Oh, damn. See that yellow one? That's the one I had.
Dude.
And then also I had an iguana that was probably about this big. It was probably about 2.5 feet.
Oh, I
Iguana.
used to love iguanas and all that.
It was cool.
We used to have a lizard.
All right.
And it ran away.
Can we go on to the next one?
Let's go to the next one.
What next one? There is no next one. I've always been fascinated with chameleons because I like the way they change colors.
Yep. Itch.
Oh, go to my Twitter. I want to talk about, speaking of animals, go to Twitter and go to the likes. This is,
How do I go to your life?
go click on the profile picture. This fascinated the shit out of me. Shout out to that. But no.
That dunk, though.
So this is one. Not this. This is not what I was talking
I was like,
about.
what's wrong with that?
But that is really cool.
That's what
So that's a gecko. That looks like a dragon.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
But that's not what I was talking
I've
about.
never seen that before.
Dude, that looks crazy.
That's the video that made me cry.
I thought
Right
I
here.
saw
Look,
every animal.
the
that
ant.
existed. Guess not.
So these apparently these flies. Click on one of the pictures, please. No, that one. These flies have evolved to make their wings look like they had ants on them, because if it wards off.
That is insane.
Look at that. That looks like How does it evolve into that?
Exactly.
What the fuck? So those are just the wings,
That looks crazy.
and they won't get eaten because other insects will think that there's ants on it, and those ants will eat them. It's fucking.
Yeah. How does
I was wondering, like that's millions of years, right? Or hundreds of thousands of years
man?
of.
It's by design.
It's evolution.
But it shows you that everything's one.
Is it conscious? Like, does it like some way look at these insects over and over and over and over to develop an image like that?
as
Because that
defense
like
mechanism.
that looks like
has to
a
be. How does that happen?
like looks too distinct.
Yeah, you know what's funny that you say that because the chameleon, it's designed to look like a leaf blowing in the wind. So when he walks, he's doing this little wavy thing every time he takes a step.
That's
because
why they
he's
do-
trying to look like a leaf
Dude,
in the
that's so
wind.
That's why I love learning
bro.
about nature. Is everything that they do is designed for a reason.
And that's you know what though? That's
wild.
why it still exists today is because it was the most adaptable.
Mm.
So there was a lot of other versions of it that didn't survive.
How crazy is that?
Genetics.
So can you scroll back a
Survival of
little
the
bit?
fittest.
Just go back to the thread.
Yeah, in moths, moths, they have those
See where it says
round
thread
circles
up
on
higher,
on their wings to make it look like an eye.
higher.
You want to
Scroll
go
up a
real
little.
dark real quick?
Where it says thread.
No.
Right there. Because somebody said like this is
Yeah,
what
that
happens
saved
when
my
you allow an
comment.
animal.
Good answer. Good answer.
What are you talking
I
about?
I was already on the thread.
No, it was somebody who I know tweeted about it, but I didn't like it, so it's too late.
Oh, okay.
What were you
Shout
gonna
out to
say?
Rick Ross.
He's got buffaloes, dude.
Wow. He
Love
looks like a
him.
buffalo.
Man,
His teeth are fucking on point though.
that's good money. That's some good veneers.
That's what I spent all money on.
Bro, if I had crazy money, I would definitely get veneers.
Me too.
That'd be
Sure.
the first thing I got.
Hell yeah.
Me too. Especially as much as I'm on camera.
Bro, it's lovely.
Keep scrolling down a little bit. I just want to see what I liked. I love Ethan Hawke.
Dude, I love that one.
Click
That
on
was
this.
So good.
Did you listen to this, Chris? Have you heard it?
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We started.
This is cool.
Those people. So you have to ask yourself, do you think human creativity matters? Well, most people don't spend a lot of time thinking about poetry, right? They have a life to live and they're not really that concerned with Allen Ginsberg's poems or anybody's poems until their father dies. They go to a funeral, you lose a child. Somebody breaks your heart, they don't love you anymore. And all of a sudden, you're desperate for making sense out of this life. And has anybody ever felt this bad before? How did they come out of this cloud? Or the inverse, something great. You meet somebody and your heart explodes. You love them so much you can't even see straight. You're dizzy. Did anybody feel like this before? What is happening to me? And that's when art's not a luxury, it's actually sustenance. So you have to ask yourself, do you
I was
think
gonna. Hey, can you go back to screen record because it's not recording anymore?
I just noticed that.
Dang.
So we might have to like
That was
Windows what?
Those are
Windows
dope.
G?
Windows.
Yeah,
G.
it kind of reminds me of Terrence McKenna.
Hey, please
He
get
has some
like
quotes
very
on art.
similar.
I know. Give me just a second.
I'm just asking, please.
I know. I'm trying to get
I was gonna ask you what was the worst you ever felt, but I don't want to get into that. So, what's the happiest you've ever felt in your life?
Happiest I've ever felt. I mean, there's different kind of forms of happiness.
Do you
got
ever
that
have like any?
emotional
Okay,
kind
well,
of
let me ask you
happiness.
this: do you ever have a moment in your life where you felt the most alive
That was
and the
just
most human?
for you though, not for anyone else.
Like the most
just for
human
you.
though?
Yeah, so I would say like to answer your question, the best, highest feeling I've ever felt was always associated with sports. So hitting my first home run over the fence, or hitting a game-winning home run. I've done that kind of shit.
Dang,
I've scored the game-winning
That's cool.
touchdown.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Those moments were the highest, happiest, kind of like most surreal moments of my life that I can remember. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like making a big play in a big game, that kind of shit.
Mhm.
That's what used to really get me to that level of highness.
That's what's up.
And now, I guess I'm just still chasing that shit because
Yeah.
in martial arts,
Well, you did post that
getting
picture
into
of your
flow
boys.
state, basically. But
You
in
went
terms
golf
of
today.
like, in terms of like a single moment, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, obviously, having my children was a sort.
I thought you were gonna say that.
It was a sort of happiness.
Well, that's why I asked him for just himself.
Yeah, that's an emotional
Okay.
sort of happiness because it's also like a relief. Like for me, seeing my daughter be born and be healthy and my wife is okay, there's a happiness, but it comes from all the fear of what could go wrong being lifted.
right.
But
So that's different,
But the
you
sports,
know what I mean?
the sports was where you're like
Yeah,
yourself. for
yeah.
yourself.
Sports is the self-generated thing. right?
Exactly.
All the things that you put into motion
Mhm.
as a human being in that moment. That's a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. What about you? What's the most highest, happiest you ever been?
There's two moments, not one specific moment, but like you're saying, whenever I'm at kickboxing.
Don't say Tom Segura.
No. Whenever I'm at kickboxing
Tom
and
Segura.
when we're working out, like when I'm like fully fucked up, like that I've brought the pain.
Oh yeah.
I feel very much alive.
Yeah.
And like even running yesterday, that felt really good. But I've said it before. When I saw Jupiter in a fucking telescope, I will never forget that moment in my life.
Yep.
Like the way I felt. I can't even describe how I felt. It was like,
so good.
no, I just felt alive. I was like, what the fuck was it? Like, I remember this.
There's a name for that. It's something phenomenon. They associate it with astronauts.
He was the.
Whenever they go outside of the.
That's it.
Whenever they go outside of the atmosphere and they look back at Earth.
It was the weirdest. Like, I wish I could feel that moment again, but it was like, it was like definitive proof for me.
What is it?
That everything around me is real, because I saw I saw Jupiter, dude. I saw the red, or whatever what the storm in the eye of the storm is on Saturn or Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter.
And I fucking saw it. I was like, what the, with the really high powered
it's really real.
telescope. Coolest moment in my life.
Beautiful.
I'll never forget that fucking moment.
That's a cool.
So that's when I've always I think about that moment to this day. That was so cool. You have one of those moments?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't narrow down which is the best one.
Overview effect.
That was cool.
Ooh,
It was a
nice.
fucking cool moment.
My bad.
What's up? No, you're cool. I don't know what my best one was, but I definitely know what at least one was. Like a really good feeling for me was when I FaceTimed my grandpa from Tokyo. Like that was a really cool moment for me. Like
What about
show
just
him
seeing
where I was.
Tokyo?
Yeah, no, that was dope too.
Yeah.
But like being able to share that experience with him, like, hey, this is where I'm at. Like this is kind of cool. You know?
Yeah.
Like, he was thoroughly impressed and enjoyed it and thought it was really cool. So that was a nice moment.
You ever had one of those moments?
I think I have, but I think I just chalk those things up to just like, okay, check. Like, I don't know.
What about when you watched Everything Everywhere All at Once?
That was emotional. That was different. But I did have like a really sad fucking moment with that movie. So
That's incredible.
yeah, it was a weird like, ugh. It was. So that's such a beautiful movie.
So you're saying you take your happy times in stride and you don't necessarily just like pick one. Yeah.
Like I feel like, I mean, there's like different eras of my life I've already lived, you know, like I can't really like, they don't necessarily define, you know, like a lot. It's just kind of like I can remember like really cool things happening or like these big like moments.
What's
but
the coolest thing that happened to you this week?
this week, I organized a color class at my salon, and I was able to work with my color educator from New England. She travels between New England and New York, and she
That's so cool.
has been with color companies her whole life since she was 17, and she's in her 60s.
So
I really look up to her, and I was able to help teach with her. So
what does that mean?
what does that mean? It was it means a lot to me because I do education, you know, and like I really.
Like as far as like the colors, like what is she teaching you that you don't know?
So she taught her our salon. We took on a new color line in the last few months, and it's been a really big shift in the whole company.
Really? Why?
Like huge, just because we have like so. I am a color educator for the salon. So what that means is I know the ins and outs of color theory, of hair science, of hair structures, how certain oxidative colors, non-oxidative colors will react and what it does inside of the hair cuticles. So we take that and apply it to a color line. And this is what this color is going to do internally to that structure. So we know the
So
ins and
crazy.
outs of a color line. That's what I've been teaching the last 6 years. And then out of nowhere, bam, we're not working with them anymore. We're going to bring in a new color line, surprise. And it's more complex.
Right.
It's so cool, but it's fucking complex and it has to be exact to ratio.
Damn, that's crazy.
So we have been taking on like bits and pieces of this color line. So she came on to give us like our like secondary part of education of bringing in the second part of this color line. So, but it's that's like shit I nerd out on. Like it really doesn't seem like that
I was
big of
gonna
a
say,
deal,
yeah,
but
our,
it's
our
like,
types of nerd are totally different.
yeah, no, but I'm like,
We all have different
but I'm like-
versions of it.
you can ask for like, I'm a nerd over different types of shit, but like the work nerd in me is like a colorist is like I love the science of it. I love the reactions. I feel blessed that I can work with my hands and create reaction with color.
That's awesome.
And even with like my shears, like I love that I can just move my hands in a motion and just take a chunk out and it lays in a direction. Like I
pretty
love
awesome.
the science of hair, but I love the art of it. And also I just love the interaction.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, I love what I do.
I've never heard anybody explain it.
She's
like
about
that.
it.
I
dog.
love what I do.
That's
I
what's
She
am.
don't just
I'm
cut
about
hair.
it. I'm
She
about
don't
it.
just
Basically a scientist.
She don't
That's
just,
what I was thinking.
Hair is gonna be my gateway into something big. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna be something big, and it's gonna be my gateway.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's the lady pirate. That's the lady pirate.
that energy, and that is how I want to see it.
Yeah. She's got the
Across
nicest eyebrows I've ever
every-
seen. I believe her.
Thank
Every
you.
platform for
Shout
all
out
of us.
Liz. Travis Liz.
Because I like that, like you have your avenue, you have your avenue, I have my avenue, and even the fucker in Houston has his avenue.
Dude, I
Shout
love
out to
that we
Bradley
all have
Dunn.
different avenues.
That's what I love it though. I
But
love
then some
that
of them
passion
cross
for
over.
it.
And
I love
it's
it.
nice when they cross over.
Creative avenues are so important, man. Golly. You got to have projects. You got to have shit that you're doing. Chris has been making a couch.
That's fucking sick.
That is pretty cool.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
I am following
Tell us about
the
that.
saga of this couch.
That's awesome. All right. So what happened essentially is me and Derek, we decided that we're doing well enough that we should probably open a store. Like, let's try it out. Like, that's like the next level of what season 3 can be, right? And to be self-sustaining. So I was like, all right, man. So in the process of this, of course, we're still looking for location or whatever, but also I've been looking at just like different interior design layouts and like things that I would want in the store. And one of the things that I want is like really dope furniture.
Yep.
Dope furniture is
Essential.
super expensive.
I didn't think that mattered until like I went to that girl's house, Ella.
Mhm.
I saw the dope furniture. I was like, oh, this is
It's
like
cool.
it really adds
It does.
an element that nobody really thinks about. Oh, people like me didn't think about.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice. I really want it to feel almost like an art installation, but like an actual store that you would shop in. So at least in the terms of like retail, like you're like not everywhere is like photogenic or whatever, but there are moments in the space that are really dope, and that's what I'm going for with the furniture. And so I was like, dang, what I am shooting for is super expensive. What I'd like to keep my budget to is honestly, like you would want to do it for as cheap as possible, right? So what's the cheapest avenue? IKEA. So IKEA is selling their couches for like $300 and they're not very good quality. Like
The quality's not there,
It's
right?
gonna be pretty bad. Like it's gonna fall apart after a minute. Like in a quick minute, maybe like 6 to 9 months, right? Like because of the amount of people that are going into the store, sitting down on it, trying on shoes, or whatever they're doing, even just waiting for other people. So I was like, dude, how can I do it myself, but keep it on a mild budget? Like if I was gonna spend $300, I might as well make it myself and make it as dope as possible. And so that's the design I'm going with. It's very angular. It's very geometrical.
Modern? Would you say
Yeah.
modern?
Oh yeah, it's definitely like a mid-century modern style.
What color?
So I just stained it today. I haven't took a dope photo, but I just stained it today. I kept it pretty much natural though. Honestly, I didn't go
I like that
too
look.
dark with it.
Mhm.
Like it's just enough to give it a little bit of tan, so it's kind of like got this golden flair to it. But that's it, and it just
Nice.
feels like super super loungy because the cushions that I got for it are like a light brown leather, kind of like
Ooh, I like
kind
that.
of like a medium brown maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's more like a medium brown couch cushion, and both of them just sit on top of it, and it just looks dope.
pretty good acoustics on that cushion. That's
That's
an inside joke between Chris and I.
It is pretty dope. Yes, it is super clean, and it's actually it's just as long as me. It's actually maybe like 6'1" as far as like the overall.
So you're gonna build 2 of them.
No, I built. Oh, that was the other thing. So I wanted to keep costs down as much as possible. So I built everything out of one sheet of plywood.
What?
Yes. So everything that is on that couch, I built out of one sheet of plywood.
How much was that one sheet of plywood?
Or
That one sheet of plywood was not cheap compared to what they
in
used to.
Biden's
Yeah.
America, it's expensive, huh?
Dude, it used to be, and this was when I built the table and the other stuff that I built. A piece of plywood, a decent piece of plywood was like $45. When I went to go buy this one, it was $81. Almost
Y'all voted for him.
bro. Almost double. It was ridiculous. So,
What's gonna be the total cost of the couch when you're done with it? $100?
no. It's gonna be a little bit more than that because like the couch cushions, they're super good quality.
Okay.
Like they are like gonna
So-
last.
Where do you even get the cushions?
So I bought some prefab cushions from this company that will do it based on whatever measurements you have, and so that's the measurement. So I planned for that, right? That's why I built the couch as big as I made it, so that it would fit the cushion. But dude, it's dope. It's gonna be dope when it's out there. So that's just one piece. But I want to do at least like maybe a desk, maybe like a cash rack.
What's our time at right now?
You're at 4108.
Well, let's talk about season 3. Let's talk about it.
Man, appreciate you rocking.
Oh yeah,
Swag rack. He rocked it on the last one. He was rocking a shirt and a hat.
any chance
That's
I
love.
get.
It's appreciated.
It's one of my favorite shirts, even though it's,
Both,
I like it.
I think,
You're planning on doing something here?
yeah, so I'm thinking about opening up a store here. Here in the next couple of months. Actually, it's probably as soon as we can find like a dope location that we like. This was one of our previous campaigns that we just ran, the Saints and Sinners drop. Dude, that mug is so sick. I love that shirt right there. That's dope. What's crazy is that I've had both of these designs for a really long time. I just didn't know how to combine the two because they weren't originally planned together. They were just different ideas that I had at the same time.
Mhm.
And then I've been looking at things from a broad view and been like, oh, these two ideas, they actually do pair together. So that's where this was coming from.
That was a good picture.
Yeah, I really like that one.
That's
What was the
picture
one
too.
me and Jen designed?
That was the Valentine's Day drop.
Oh, is that,
Yeah. It was the his and hers drop.
oh, that's
The
what
one you modeled?
Yeah. Dude, that's a clean one too, bro. Pull those up.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh my God.
look at them. This is a classic
That's a
shot.
good picture.
Forgot I had that shirt. Do I have that shirt? Yeah, I do.
That's the Swagadelic shot. Dang, that's a dope shot right there, man. I really like that one.
That is nice.
And that's because I probably could have blurred out the
Aw,
background
Brian.
more, but I was like,
That's how I'm looking now. I'm growing out my fucking facial hair finally.
but yeah, so we felt like we're doing well enough to open up a store. So we're probably gonna open up like more of like a streetwear boutique, but we'll also have some shoes. So we won't always be about the shoes, but for the most part, they'll be there. And then of course our main goal is to sell the merch, season 3 merch. So give Texas something to rock. Give the rest of the world.
Texas
putting out
forever,
notice who we
baby.
are. You know what I mean?
Texas forever.
One thing that you think about with Texas is they sometimes refer to it as the third coast.
Uh-huh.
It just, God is in the details. You know what I mean? That's all I could say when I think back on it. But yeah, shout out to season 3, man.
So how many companies are there out there here in this city doing what you're about to do?
Nobody.
Not on that level. It's
Nobody, right? I mean, who's about to open up a storefront or who has a storefront?
There's people with
Anybody
storefronts,
you know?
but they sell they're vintage. That's all
right,
it
they
is.
sell other stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
they're not
There's
really-
no
Gotcha.
brand specific shop here I can
Right.
think of.
Yeah, there's not like a brand specific shop. Like, I don't, because a friend of mine said we should definitely sell some vintage, but I don't know, man. Like,
I don't think you should.
I like vintage in a special place, but also I just don't want to steal anybody else's swag or anything like that. Not on that scale, I guess you could say.
I'm wondering when that timeline runs out with vintage.
Dude, yeah.
I think it's
'Cause,
coming.
like, the thing is, we all know that you can buy the shirts for like $2 or $3. You just got to go look. And what we're paying is just a giant finder's fee. But if we actually wanted to,
Well,
we could go.
I wasn't made aware because one of these few episodes I'm about to drop was with the vintage version.
Mm-hmm.
That all this fucking influx of clothes is from people who died from COVID. I wasn't aware of that. So I'm like,
Yeah,
when's that timeline? So
I
when's that?
brought that like morbid fact. Okay,
Yeah, so when's
like,
the timeline? So I love and respect the vintage community. You know, I fuck with them, and some of my boys are in that. But I'm like, when's that timeline gonna run out? Because it is.
So that's how you get vintage stuff? Is
that's
people
why it's been
giving
big
it
now.
away?
I think that's why it's been big
business,
now
yeah.
because those people fucking.
There's this influx
think
of
it's the
people
nostalgia?
finding these like really cool hidden gems or
Gotcha.
clearing out estate sales or whatever.
Mhm.
We
I
just
think it
went
is
through
the
a
nostalgia, but it's
pandemic.
like for like because it used to be like if I could speak on it, it's like I could go to Goodwill and buy me a fucking fit for myself. I didn't have to go through a third
Yeah.
party. Now it's like everybody snatches that shit up
Yeah.
and sells it
Right.
for whatever the fuck they want to sell it.
That's the beautiful
Yeah.
curse of reselling.
Yeah.
That's like the thing.
So that's about to run out though because everybody's buying all the shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I-
like
I
with
think
you having like a storefront, would you run it as like
Looks getting crazy out here.
somebody just got blasted or something. Jesus.
Minds? Sorry.
We are in one of the most dangerous cities in America, y'all.
I got my
Dude, we
attorney
really
here
are.
with me.
For sure.
Oh my God.
I'm here to represent Roy. Make sure he don't say anything crazy.
The Wildcat.
Anything I do, you got to go through him.
That's right.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
Mr. Swagadelic. Wildcat.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, with your storefront, would you run it as like a store and then like your creative studio as well, or like?
I've thought about it. I've genuinely thought about it.
Because like you do photography and all
Yes.
that as well.
Yeah. I've thought
Put a
about
little
it. So,
studio in there.
You're about to tell our secrets. That's what
Yeah.
you're.
Well,
no, I mean, like the thing is, these aren't all new ideas. They're just new to the area because there hasn't been anybody who's been able to do all of those things, and not necessarily like that. I think I'm all that, but like it's a lot to have to do all the time. That's why I'm like insanely busy. But yeah, I think I will, and I think I really do want to foster some community there. So kind of like what Casp does. I would like to have like maybe I don't know, maybe quarterly, if we can, like host some events, or it's like an after hours
Like
type of spot.
Fools?
Kind of like on that level, yes.
Hey,
Because I think it
new
would be
location.
dope. I don't know what the regulations are on it yet. This is different in different places, but I mean, honestly, why we
We
could.
could party wherever the fuck we want, Chris. This is America.
As long as you're not smoking weed, you'd be like,
Yeah, keep the devil's lettuce away.
That's it.
But
But yeah, something like that. You know, it's not insane, but I don't know. See what they say. Plus, I don't know how LPD is out here.
when they say don't ask for permission,
Just ask forgiveness.
ask for forgiveness. Like that shit.
That was pretty gangster. That's a pretty gangster theory. Yes, for sure. But yeah, so that's what's going on with season 3. And so this is the first piece of furniture that I just finished. I'm just waiting on the cushions to come in and just waiting for the finish to
What
dry.
is story? I think it's on a story.
on his story or
Yeah,
on,
no, it's right there. Oh, my story?
or what do you?
Is the couch on there?
Oh, the couch is the one that I haven't posted anything new. But yeah, you can go to mine.
it's on his personal.
Yeah, my personal.
Chris O'Connor, he's fine.
At the Chris Vargas. Not bad.
I think you're shadow banned.
I wouldn't
Looks
doubt
like
it.
it.
Look, you have to fucking search everything.
Dang! Oh my god!
What did you do to deserve this?
This
I
is a very good
know.
question. Must have been talking about the Lord too much.
That's what you get for filtering yourself. Don't filter yourself.
That's what happens. Oh, let's talk about making money too. So this is part of the plywood. So these are actually stacked 3 deep. So each shape, I have 3 different versions of those.
Yeah.
And I glued them and screwed them together.
I thought you were doing
create
origami
thickness.
with wood or something, dog.
That's what I thought too at first.
Because he never said he was making a couch, I don't think. And so you see that and you're like, what is this? What is he making?
Yeah.
It looks cool, but I don't know what it
Opening up the
is.
store, how exciting.
Not so fun fact. I hate that my mustache
Golly.
gets so blown out in the lights.
What mustache?
I hate that I comment really cheesy stuff and then I go back and read it. I'm like, I can't believe I said that.
That couch is gonna be. Is
No,
that a
the
money
next
bag?
no, the next one.
The one below it.
OMG, mijo, you're so charismatic.
Yeah.
I meant it though.
I'm about to show it. Did I already show it? Yeah, I think it's in my stories. Oh,
There
there
it
it is
is.
right there.
Wow.
One of my friends was like, dang, how low does that sit? I was like, no, it is pretty low. I'm not going to lie. I was like, but it's low for a reason. It's to give the illusion of higher ceilings.
There you go.
So it feels fresh.
Everything's thought out.
So there's a method to the madness.
Dude, that is sweet.
Nice.
1 sheet of plywood only.
Yeah, bro. But that's why it's different angles like that so that it can create the level of thickness that I need to sustain. And even after this, like I tested it out and I was like, I don't like how it bends in the middle a bit.
Mhm.
So I had some leftover scrap and I built a support beam in the middle and I made another like triangle shape to kind of match the rest of it.
Dude,
Nice.
it looks dope. I couldn't have done that.
It was smooth.
So where'd you get this? Where are you getting your instructions from? Tell us your secret.
YouTube University?
YouTube University.
YouTube
University, bro.
Any
What's crazy
particular
is
page?
like, don't get me wrong. Like I definitely, when I was in school, I won best in state. So it's not like I don't know my way around this stuff. But like as far as like brand new ideas, yeah, for sure YouTube. Because I would have never thought to make a couch out of 1 single sheet of plywood.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. That's a crazy idea.
From like Home Depot.
But the one thing that
What
I
was
really,
that?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Hold on. So it's crackheads screaming at each other.
Sound like a cat.
Should we call it?
Was it a
No,
cat?
somebody
It
was-
sounded like somebody was screaming.
No, it was somebody screaming, but I don't think it's nothing.
Should we call
You
it?
scream again?
Let's call it real quick.
It's nothing.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right, we're back to it. But yeah,
These crackheads probably mad at each other.
that was crazy. But what raised all of it in my mind was just like, I have the skills, but it does take courage. Like, I'm not gonna front. Like, this is the first project that I've built in like 2 years, and it's because that's just like back before. Of course, when my gramps passed, like, it's different without him kind of hovering over. You know what I mean? So it took a lot to just even like sit down to like draw it out. To be honest with you, like on the plywood, I was like, God dang, like it was really messing with me, and I had to like power through. But I'm lucky because I was able to power through. You know what I mean? Like, I think about where I'm at in my life now, and I know they'd be proud. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
So that's why I've been chasing it down.
Your
And-
grandpa's the one who taught you carpentry?
A little bit. Definitely, like, just the fact that like my grandpa like literally had no fear. He'd be doing all kinds of stuff that like there's rules and regulations against,
Mhm.
but he would do
Man, I
it
respect
anyway.
That mindset.
I'm like, you should definitely not do what you're about to do.
I wish I would. I wish
The
I
old
could
school
live
way.
like that.
The old school way. That's how things should be done.
No fear, no fear. And so I liked having him around because he was a little safety net for me sometimes, you know. So it took a lot, and that's kind of why I've been in this weird funk that I've been in. But thank God for creative outlets, bro, because good gosh,
Yeah, they pull you through, man. It helps you get your mind off of whatever negative bullshit
for real, dude.
that you're getting caught up
You can come
in.
running with me.
Dude, I listened to that podcast we did the other day. We're doing this freaking.
Oh, you're down
What,
now?
15
You
miles?
sons of bitches.
I'm still not down, but I'm thinking about it.
You can do a 5K. What is that? 3 miles?
I'm down to do maybe a 5K.
Yeah,
I'm down to do a 5K.
You gotta just do it.
You were talking about doing like a
Motherfucker, I'll
freaking,
sign you up for the kids run. You can run a mile.
I'll do it on a scooter.
yeah, I'm down for that
Are
too.
we running? Are we?
No,
like,
I'm
for real?
signing. I'm
What?
paying and signing them up, everybody. And if you're not there on the race day, I'm not talking to you for the rest of my life.
I respect that.
So
What are you signing them up for?
The mayor's
depends
run.
on where they're at physically at that point. If I have to sign them up for the mile, I will. But something
Okay, all right, I'm down with that. That's cool.
or 3 miles. 3 miles. What's the least one? The 5K?
Yeah, it's like 3.2 miles.
I should do it running.
6K, a 10K is like 6 miles.
Where are we at now?
We
An
are
hour.
at 53.
All right, listen it. But hold on. Can you
53 is the
scroll through
money,
these
huh?
pictures? This is pretty cool.
53?
I hope this is
53 the
inspirational.
money, yes.
Is that a new
wow.
spot?
Oh shit! Look at so they went from
Sweetwater?
that
What's it called?
Sweetwater. They sell like electronics to that. That's inspirational. That's what we're gonna
Fort
do
Wayne.
in 15 years. That's what we're gonna be like.
Snake Pit
That's why I'm
Studios?
saying this. So go back.
You want a
Hey,
fantasy factory?
motherfucker started like this. We're starting in the garage. Well, actually, I started on my phone. We're gonna end up in a fantasy factory one day,
Let's do it.
like this.
I'm down.
Dude, I love that.
We'll all have our own studio, 3 different podcasts.
Okay,
I promise that one day.
let's do it.
That took them 15 years. It'll probably take us 15 years.
Yeah.
But
Bro, shout out to the grind though, man. There is something beautiful and like really, like this is work as much as it is.
no, it is now.
You know what I mean?
The struggle?
I had to get these motherfuckers here every week. But
yeah,
I love it.
Me too. This is fun.
but it is fun.
Struggle
But
is real, though. The
Yeah,
struggle is real. Do never get the
Yeah.
wrong
It's the best part.
impression.
dude.
I don't know.
Having to be a
Just been doing
dad
it so
on top
much.
of chasing down your dreams is tough, bro. It is tough. Like, cause sometimes I feel neglectful, and I'm like, dude. But then I'm like, oh no, that boy is tearing it up right now in some Beat Saber. I was like, I could care less about what I'm doing. But most of the time, I try to go over there and shut it down. I'm like, hey, let's grab some dinner. Let's eat, or like, let's chill for a minute.
Yeah.
Because you have to. Like, you have to. You don't want to be neglectful. So that takes some time. Because if I could, man, sometimes when I get going, I could get lost in work all day. Like, I'll go days where, like, I didn't eat anything because I was just busy trying to make this thing happen. That's how invested I am into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, that doesn't happen every day, but
I feel you, but I would never forget to eat. But the other things, I feel you.
you need to make us those pizza balls you sent me from
Pizza
Dr.
balls.
Strange.
From Doctor Strange. I'm thinking I'm
Dude,
gonna
I
make
haven't eaten all day.
but
Because he was on a grind today.
Let's get some pizza balls.
we're gonna end this one and we're gonna jump to the Patreon because I'm about to fire off some shit on the Patreon. So if you guys want to go listen. But no, it is a grind. This is turning into our job. So please subscribe to the Patreon so I can start paying these fools, making some money. I don't see us stopping.
Yeah,
I can't until we get
to our
that.
tens of thousands of fans.
I can't stop until we get that. So,
Hey, I like it.
even after that.
That's the song.
I appreciate the 2 people that do listen. Oh fuck, dude! I had a guy who actually asked us a question, so we'll answer that on the Patreon.
That's to the Patreon. If
We'll answer your question on the Patreon.
Hold on, no, we had
We can
lots of
answer
guys.
him directly.
We know we had
But we'll
100.
answer
We had
them.
100 questions submitted. He
No,
picked one.
hell no! I'm proud of that. We got one motherfucker to
I did
get.
have like 3 questions.
We got a motherfucker to answer mine, so I'm proud of that
Send
one.
the questions.
So.
Yeah. No, I had some
And
questions.
then I got some shit to pick with this guy because he was asking questions yesterday and he outed me of all motherfuckers. So, all right, we'll be back. We're going to take a break and we'll be back on the Patreon. Patreon.com. It's patreon.com/snakepitstudios for the episodes. This is episode 9.